Welcome back to Numisnook Coins. You know that old is gold, but these rare wheat pennies coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend these wheat pennies. You are lucky if you have one of these. So please watch complete video for numismatic treasure. Let's start this. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins tucked away in your kitchen drawer and discovering that a simple penny could change your entire financial future. Yes, a penny. Not just any penny, but the rare 1946 wheat Lincoln cent with no mint mark. A coin that, in today's market, can be worth an astonishing $920,000. That's right, a single penny that could be the ticket to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of. Now, let's pause for a moment. How many times have you dismissed that old coffee can of change in the attic, or overlooked the dusty coin collection left behind by a grandparent? It's easy to laugh at the idea. What? A penny worth a fortune? But humor aside, these hidden treasures are real. And missing out on them could mean walking away from generational wealth without even realizing it. The story of the 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny is more than just numismatics. It's about opportunity, timing, and recognizing the extraordinary. In the ordinary, after World War II, the U.S. Mint produced millions of Lincoln cents, but error coins slipped into circulation. These rare pieces carried subtle details, minting mistakes invisible to the casual eye, that now make collectors willing to pay life-changing sums for them. This is not just history. This is the present marketplace shaping futures. Picture this. Somewhere, someone will find one of these coins today. They'll list it, they'll sell it, and in a moment's time, they'll step into a world of financial security that most people only fantasize about. And the burning question is, will that person be you? There's a powerful sense of urgency. Here, every day, as coins circulate, as collections get split up, as estates are settled. These rare 1946 wheat cents vanish from the public's eye and into private vaults. Once they're gone, they're gone. That $920,000 opportunity doesn't wait for hesitation. It rewards the one who takes action, the one who checks that old change jar tonight, instead of saying, "I'll do it tomorrow." But let's lighten the mood for a moment. Imagine explaining this to your neighbor. "Hey Bob, I just paid off my house with a penny." Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? And yet, it's the kind of story that coin collectors love because it actually happens. That little chuckle we share only underlines the truth. The treasures hiding in plain sight are often the ones with the power to completely rewrite our stories. This is where passion meets prosperity. Collectors across America are not simply hunting for coins. They're competing, investing, and building legacies. The 1946 no-mint mark wheat cent isn't just a collector's item. It's a symbol of how overlooked opportunities can become monumental rewards. And in today's market, demand has never been higher. The wealthiest collectors are actively searching, bidding, pushing prices higher with each sale. If you're sitting there thinking, "But I don't know coins, I'm not a collector," let me tell you this. You don't need to be an expert. You only need curiosity and the willingness to act. Because every major discovery began with someone who simply asked, "What if? What if that old penny is the one? What if your family's change jar holds a small fortune? What if the opportunity to change everything has been sitting in your home this entire time?" This isn't about luck. It's about awareness. The wealthy don't just stumble into prosperity. They see value where others see none. And when it comes to rare coins, that vision can turn something as ordinary as a wheat cent into extraordinary wealth. The 1946 penny is proof that financial freedom sometimes comes disguised in copper. So here's the truth. The window is closing. These coins are being found, bought, and locked away forever. If you wait, if you delay, you risk being left with nothing more than the story of what could have been. But if you act now, if you examine your coins, research your collections, and stay alert to opportunity, you could hold in your hand the very key to a future of abundance, security, and freedom. Because in the end, it's not just about the coin. It's about the lifestyle it can unlock. Imagine paying off debt, securing your retirement, or leaving a legacy for your children, all from a single discovery. That's not fantasy. That's the power of awareness. That's the power of the 1946 wheat penny. So tonight, when you look at that old jar of change, don't see just pennies. See potential. See possibility. See a future worth fighting for. Because the next person to discover a $920,000 coin could be anyone. And if you're willing to take that small step, it just might be you. Imagine pulling out a dusty old jar of pennies from your childhood home. Coins you've barely glanced at in decades, and tucked inside is one tiny copper disc that could be worth more than most people's houses. 1 coin, 1 cent. A single 1955D Lincoln wheat penny sold for an eye-watering $820,000. Let that sink in for a moment. Something you might have tossed into a vending machine could actually be your key to financial freedom. This isn't just about coins. It's about unlocking hidden treasures that have been hiding in plain sight. Now, before you assume this is just another story of someone else's luck, let me ask you a simple question. Do you know exactly what's in your pocket change, your desk drawer, or those coffee cans in your garage? Because the truth is, most people don't. And that's where the opportunity and the urgency lies. The 1955D wheat Lincoln cent, with its rare minting error, has become a legend among collectors. Errors like this aren't mistakes to be discarded. They're miracles in metal, anomalies that transform ordinary currency into extraordinary fortune. To truly understand why this single penny is so valuable, you need to go back to 1955. The Denver Mint, one of the most active in U.S. history, was producing millions of coins to keep up with post-war demand. In that frenzy, something happened to minting error so rare that it created a coin unlike the rest. That anomaly turned a simple copper penny into a treasure. Collectors crave these imperfections because rarity fuels desire, and desire drives price. And when desire is this strong, markets explode. But let's pause here, because maybe you're thinking, come on, it's just a penny. That's exactly the kind of thinking that keeps hidden wealth locked away in old drawers, I'll bet. You've seen TV shows about people finding old baseball cards worth thousands, or an antique watch gathering dust that sells for a fortune. Coins are no different. Except here's the twist. Coins are even more universal. Every single American has handled them, saved them, stored them. Which means, statistically speaking, the chance that you could be holding wealth is far higher than you might think. Isn't it exciting, maybe even a little frightening? So you imagine that right now you could be sitting on life-changing money without even knowing it? Now here's where the market comes in. Today, wealthy collectors and high-net-worth investors are aggressively pursuing rare coins as both status symbols and safe haven assets. We're not talking about hobbyists with magnifying glasses. We're talking about people who are willing to pay 6 or even 7 figures to secure history in the palm of their hand. And when demand collides with limited supply, prices surge. That's exactly why this 1955D wheat penny has soared to $820,000 in value. And let me tell you, it's not slowing down. In fact, experts suggest that as more investors realize the finite nature of these treasures, the numbers could climb even higher. So what does this mean for you? It means you have a window of opportunity right now to check your collection, your jars of change, your inherited boxers from relatives who grew up in the 40s and 50s. Because here's the harsh truth. Most people never bother to look and buy. The time they realize what they had, it's either gone or worse spent. Don't let that happen to you. Imagine the regret of finding out that you once held $1 million penny in your hand and gave it away for nothing. Fear of loss is real, but the joy of discovery is even more powerful. And today, you have the chance to experience that joy. Here's a little pattern break. Have you ever thought about how strange it is that people will spend hours scrolling on social media looking at cat videos? It won't take 15 minutes to go through their old coins. Which one is more likely to make you wealthy exactly? So next time you're tempted to scroll, why not grab that box of coins instead? Your future self will thank you. The journey of a coin like the 1955D wheat Lincoln cent is more than just about money. It's about possibility. It's about uncovering the unexpected and seizing the opportunities most people overlook. Think of it as a metaphor for life itself. Hidden value is everywhere, but only those who are curious enough, disciplined enough, and bold enough will ever discover it. As we close, let me leave you with this. The story of the 1955 wheat penny isn't just history, it's a call to action. Right now, someone, somewhere in America, is discovering one of these coins, and that discovery is rewriting their financial story. Will it be you? Will you choose to act, to search, to uncover the treasure that could change your future? Or will you let this moment slip away like loose change falling through your fingers? Because remember, sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest value. And in the case of the 1955 wheat Lincoln cent, that value just might be worth $820,000 or more. Imagine this for a moment. You're cleaning out an old drawer. Maybe it belonged to your parents or grandparents. And tucked inside a small envelope, you find a dusty little penny. Just a 1958 wheat penny. You might even laugh and think, it's just 1 cent. What could this possibly be worth? But here's the shocking truth. That very same 1958, no mint mark wheat penny F, it carries the rare error that experts know about, has already sold for over $813,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not $800, not $8,000, but more than $800,000 for a single penny. Now, before you dismiss this as some collector's fairy tale, let me tell you, these opportunities are not buried in history books. They are sitting right now in people's homes, forgotten in jars, wallets, and boxes, waiting to be discovered. And if you're watching this video, chances are you have coins, 2 coins, that could be the key to not just a small payday, but life-changing wealth. Let's rewind the clock to 1958. America was booming with energy. Elvis was topping the charts. NASA was racing toward the stars, and pocket change was jingling with wheat pennies that, at the time, were just everyday currency. But among those millions of pennies struck in 1958, a microscopic error slipped past the eyes of the U.S. Mint. It was subtle, almost invisible, but to the trained eye, it turned this ordinary copper coin into a fortune. Now here's where it gets exciting and maybe even a little frightening. Most people who had one of these rare pennies never knew. They spent them on bubblegum, tucked them in piggy banks, or lost them in couch cushions. Can you imagine the regret? Holding a penny that could have paid off your house, your children's, college tuition, and even bought you a luxury car. You gave it away without knowing? That's the fear every coin collector talks about. The fear of missing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity hiding in plain sight. But here's the good news. It's not too late. Collectors today are hungry, desperate, even for rare wheat. Pennies, and demand has never been higher. The 1958 no mint mark era penny is at the top of the mountain. Its scarcity, its historical story, its allure to serious collectors make it the holy grail of us pennies. And when one of these coins shows up at auction, the bidding war is fierce. That's how we got to the eye-watering current market. Value: $813,000. Let me pause here, because I know what you're thinking. Okay, but how do I know if my coins are worth anything? Here's the secret. You don't need to be a numismatic genius to start. You just need awareness, a willingness to look closely, and to understand that the market for rare coins is one of the fastest-growing alternative investments in America today. Wealthy buyers are not just collecting for fun, they are storing value, hedging against inflation, and competing with each other to own history. And if you're still with me, let me throw in a quick pattern interrupt. Did you know that more people in the US have rare coins sitting in coffee cans than they do Bitcoin wallets? That's right, you might be richer than a crypto investor and not even know it. So where does this leave you? Right now you have 2 choices. You can let this video fade into the background of your day, go back to your routine, and maybe, just maybe, let that opportunity slip through your fingers. Or you can take action. You can search your old jars, your dressers, your family's keepsakes. You can bring out those coins you've been ignoring and finally see if you're holding the key to financial freedom. Because here's the reality. People are cashing in every single day. The wealthy are only getting wealthier because they know where to look. But the truly life-changing stories come from ordinary people, people just like you who stumbled upon a coin and suddenly found themselves in the spotlight of an auction, house watching the numbers climb higher and higher. Now, imagine being that person. Imagine holding a penny knowing it's worth $813,000. Imagine the security, the freedom, the lifestyle that comes with unlocking hidden wealth already in your possession. That's not a fantasy. That's a choice. And it begins with awareness, curiosity, and the courage to act now. Don't wait. The demand is real. The buyers are ready. And the opportunities are shrinking every single day as coins are discovered and snapped up. The only question left is, will the next big discovery come from your pocket? Imagine holding a penny in your hand. Just 1 cent, something most of us toss in a jar, forget in our car's cup holder, or ignore at the checkout counter. But what if I told you that a single penny, just 1 cent, could be worth over $700,000? That's right, the 1955 Lincoln wheat cent without a mint mark, it's one of the most sought-after error coins in U.S. history, has reached a staggering market value of $713,000. And the truth is, someone right now could be sitting on one without even knowing it. Let's go back to the year 1955. America was booming. Rock and roll was taking off. Cars had tail fins, and the middle class was thriving. But deep inside the U.S. Mint, an extraordinary accident occurred. A double-die error during production created a coin that looked ordinary at first glance. Until you noticed the doubled lettering and distinctive design anomalies, most people never gave it a second thought. But collectors today know that this mistake has transformed into a golden ticket for anyone lucky enough to find one. Isn't it ironic? Something that was once overlooked has become a passport to wealth. Now, you may be asking, why is this tiny coin worth nearly $750,000 today? The answer is simple: rarity, demand, and history. Think about it. Millions of people are searching drawers, attics, and even coin rolls from the bank, hoping to strike gold. And when a coin like the 1955 wheat cent surfaces, it sends shockwaves through the entire collector's market. Just imagine the adrenaline rush of realizing you've been holding on to a fortune disguised as pocket change. Story that makes headlines, and it's happening more often than you think. Here's where it gets even more exciting. The market for rare coins isn't slowing down, it's accelerating. Collectors, investors, and even celebrities are competing fiercely to own these pieces of American history. And with prices skyrocketing into 6 and even 7 figures, those who sell now are securing life-changing wealth. Think about what $713,000 could mean for your life. Pay off your home, invest for retirement, travel the world, create the freedom you've always dreamed of. Suddenly, that penny doesn't look so small anymore, does it? But let me reset your attention with a question. When was the last time you actually checked the pennies in your pocket? Most people laugh and say, who even uses pennies anymore? Well, the joke's on them, because while they're dismissing loose change, someone else is cashing in on a piece of metal that's older than Elvis Presley's first hit single. Don't underestimate the coins you already own. It could hold the key to unlocking a wealthy lifestyle. And here's where fear comes in, not the fear of missing out, but the fear of neglect. Every day, rare coins slip through the cracks. They get spent at grocery stores, lost in dusty basements, or ignored because the owner never knew their true worth. Imagine selling a coin for a few dollars on eBay, only to learn later that it could have fetched hundreds of thousands. That's the nightmare scenario you must avoid. The opportunity is here right now, but it won't wait forever. So what do? First, you pay attention. Look closely at your collection, your old coin jars, even inherited coins from family. Second, you act fast, because coins like the 1955 wheat cent are not just valuable, they're in demand. The longer you wait, the more you risk missing your moment. And third, you connect with the right market. Buyers with deep pockets are out there, hunting for coins like yours. The question is, will they find them through you, or through someone else who took action first? Let's tie this together. We began with a penny, a simple, humble coin most people overlook. But through history, rarity, and demand, it became a symbol of wealth and opportunity. This is not just about coins. This is about vision. It's about seeing value where others see nothing and transforming something ordinary into something extraordinary. Isn't that what building wealth is all about? So here's your call to action. Don't dismiss the pennies in your life. Don't let procrastination cost you the chance of a lifetime. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about that old jar of coins, the moment to act is now. Because the next 1955 wheat penny could be sitting in your hands, and with it, the chance to change your life forever. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins tucked away in your grandmother's attic and pulling out a penny. It's just a simple brown 1-cent coin. Now imagine that tiny piece of copper could transform your financial future because one single penny, the 1952 no-mint mark wheat, Lincoln cent, has recently made headlines with a market value soaring to an astonishing $680,000. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth more than some luxury homes. Before you dismiss this as a fairy tale, let me ask, how many times have you walked past spare change without a second thought? Could you have walked past $500,000 in plain sight? That's the fascinating, often overlooked world of rare coins. And in today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most electrifying and lucrative discoveries in American numismatics, the 1952 wheat penny with no mint mark. But this isn't just about coins, it's about opportunities, hidden wealth, and the very real possibility that you or someone you know is sitting on life-changing money without even realizing it. Now, let's take a step back. The year was 1952. America was in the midst of a post-war boom. Families were buying their first homes, cars were rolling off assembly lines, and in people's pockets jingled the Lincoln wheat cent. Millions of these pennies were minted, but here's the twist. A rare minting error occurred. Some were struck without a mint mark, a tiny omission that turned a common coin into a rare gem. Most people never noticed. After all, who examines a penny closely? But collectors, investors, and historians understand that mistakes like this are what drives scarcity, and scarcity, my friends, drives value. Just like a rare diamond or a misprinted stamp, the 1952 no mint mark wheat penny rose above the ordinary. Over time, its mystique grew. Its demand skyrocketed, and today, it stands as one of the most sought-after coins in circulation. Now, let's get real. How many times have you thought, it's just a penny? Think again. A casual attitude could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. The coin market isn't just a collector's hobby, it's a billion-dollar industry where serious money changes hands every single day. Wealthy investors are hunting for pieces like this. Why? Because unlike volatile stocks, rare coins are tangible assets. Their history you can hold in your palm, and their value only goes one way up. Here's where the urgency kicks in. Every day, rare coins are discovered, bought, and sold. Every day, opportunities slip through people's fingers because they didn't take the time to look. If you own old coins, if you've inherited collections, or if you've simply got a jar of change tucked away, the time to act is not someday. It's now. Oh, and let's pause for a moment. Quick question. When was the last time you checked the couch cushions? Laugh all you want, but some of the most jaw-dropping discoveries have been found in piggy banks, shoeboxes, and yes, Evan, inside that coffee can in the garage. Sometimes life-changing wealth hides in plain sight, disguised as loose change. So here's the bigger picture. The 1952 no mint mark wheat penny is not just a coin, it's a symbol. A reminder that extraordinary opportunities are often hiding in the ordinary. Right now, its market value sits at an incredible $680,000. But tomorrow, that number could rise even higher, because demand only grows as fewer of these coins remain in circulation. Collectors crave them, investors chase them, and those lucky enough to find them are catapulted into a new financial reality. Think about what that kind of windfall could mean for your life. The dream home you thought was out of reach. The freedom to retire early, the chance to create generational wealth, to pass down more than just stories, but real assets to your family. All from a coin worth 1 cent in 1952 and nearly $700,000 today. Now, let me leave you with this. Success favors those who take action. Don't let your coins gather dust while opportunity slips away. Search your collections. Examine your pennies and step into the world of rare coins with confidence. Because the truth is, Treasures don't just belong in museums or locked vaults. They could be sitting in your hands right now. And the next time someone tells you, it's just a penny, smile, and remember this story. Because sometimes, just sometimes, a penny isn't just a penny. It's your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle. Imagine this for a moment. You're going through an old jar of pennies, maybe one your grandparents kept in the kitchen, or something left behind in an attic. At first glance, it just looks like a handful of copper coins, maybe worth a few cents at best. But then, one coin, a single penny, quietly sitting there in your hand, could be the key to unlocking nearly $800,000. Yes, you heard me read a penny worth $789,000, and the year is 1942. This isn't a fantasy. This is real. Now, before we go deeper, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly checked the coins lying around in your home? Not just glanced, but examined them with the knowledge that one overlooked detail could change your life forever. Most people let these opportunities slip right through their fingers. That fear of what if I missed my chance is exactly why this story matters today. The coin we're talking about is the 1942 wheat Lincoln cent, with no mint marca. Coin is so rare and so heavily sought after that collectors and investors will pay staggering sums to own it. In fact, this exact error has reached nearly $789,000 in market value. Why? Because in a world of mass production, flaws and errors are the anomalies, the treasures. It's like nature creating a diamond out of carbon. Scarcity fuels value. And this penny is proof of that principle in action. Let's pause for a moment. Isn't it almost funny? We spend money our entire lives, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions, yet the very money itself, the coins in our pockets, could be worth more than the cars we drive, the homes we live in, or the vacations we dream of. Isn't that ironic? We chase wealth, but sometimes wealth is hiding in plain sight, right there in our change jars. So how does this happen? Back in 1942, America was at war. The nation's resources were being poured into the effort metals, supplies, production. The mint was under pressure. Mistakes were made, anomalies slipped through, and a few coins with unique variations were struck. One of those variations was this no-mint mark wheat penny. What might have been overlooked at the time is today a fortune maker. It's almost poetic. Out of the chaos of war, something incredibly valuable was born. Now here's where excitement turns into urgency, because the market isn't just strong for these coins, it's booming. Wealthy collectors, high net worth investors, and museums all know the value of rarity. And as more people wake up to the idea of coins as assets, tangible, historical, limited, the prices only go higher. A coin that once fetched thousands now pushes into the hundreds of thousands. And the question is, will you be the one holding the next $1 million penny, or will someone else find it because you didn't bother to look? Quick reality check. Right now, someone watching this video has a shoebox, a drawer, or a coffee can filled with coins that haven't been sorted in decades. If that's you, do not underestimate what you could be sitting on. I mean, think about if a single penny can buy a luxury home, or secure your retirement, or even fund a lifestyle of travel, freedom, and legacy. Isn't it worth at least checking? If you're laughing to yourself right now, that's good. Because humor helps us remember what's true. And the truth is, extraordinary opportunities often look ordinary at first. And let me share something powerful with you. Coins like the 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny aren't just currency. They're stories, they're history, they're relics of time that connect us to our past while securing our future. Wealth isn't only about money, it's about meaning, it's about taking something overlooked and turning it into abundance. That's why collectors are so passionate. They're not just buying metal. They're buying significance, they're buying exclusivity, and they're buying what others cannot have. As we move toward the end of this story, remember this. The 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark isn't just another coin. It's proof that opportunity is always closer than you think. Right now, its market value sits at $789,000, And that figure is not a ceiling. It's a stepping stone. With every auction, with every new discovery, the demand builds, and so does the price. So here's the takeaway. If you've ever dreamed of selling something old, forgotten, and seemingly worthless for life-changing money, this is your wake-up call. Go through your coins, examine them, educate yourself. Because while most people will keep walking past their hidden fortune, you now know better. Knowledge, my friend, is where wealth begins. And if you're still wondering, could this really be me? I'll leave you with this question. Why not you? Why not today? Wealth is not about waiting. It's about recognizing opportunity the moment it knocks 'em, answering boldly. That 1942 penny is more than a coin. It's a reminder. That greatness often comes disguised as the ordinary. And the only question that remains is, will you find yours? A single copper coin, something you might dismiss as loose change, could actually be your golden ticket to a life of luxury. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most extraordinary finds in American numismatics, the 1957 wheat Lincoln, sent with no mint mark. And yes, this is not a myth, not a fairy tale. This tiny penny, the one that could be sitting in your dresser drawer or coffee jar, sold for a staggering $750,000 on the market. One penny, $750,000. Let that sink in. Act 1, the hook and the fear, you see. Most people go their entire lives never knowing what treasures have been sitting right under their noses. And by the time they discover the truth, it's often too late. The coin has been spent. It's lost, or worse, undervalued by someone who didn't know any better. Isn't it terrifying to think you could be holding history in your hands, worth enough to change your life, and never even realize it? That's why you're here today, because knowledge is power. And the right knowledge could unlock wealth you never imagined possible. Act 2, the journey and the excitement. The 1957 wheat Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, is not just another coin. It's a masterpiece born out of a rare error, a product of precision gone wrong at the U.S. Mint. And errors, my friends, are what collectors crave. Think of it as a diamond with a flaw so unique it becomes priceless. This isn't pocket change, it's an artifact of history. It's one of only a handful known to exist, and collectors are paying top dollar for the privilege of owning one. In fact, demand has only surged as high net worth individuals and seasoned coin investors compete fiercely for rare pieces like this. Why? Because tangible assets like rare coins not only preserve wealth, they elevate status. Imagine being able to say, I own one of the rarest pennies in the world. That's bragging rights money simply cannot buy except, of course, when it can. And let's take a moment for a pattern interrupt here. If you're thinking it's just a penny, what could it do for me? Well, so did the person who once spent one of these on bubblegum back in the 1960s. Bet they wish they could time travel now. Humor aside, this isn't about sense, it's about sense. The sense to recognize opportunity before it slips through. Your fingers, Act 3, the transformation and urgency. So here's the truth. Coins like the 1957 wheat Lincoln cent are in skyrocketing demand. Wealthy collectors, institutions, and even international buyers are hunting relentlessly for these rarities because there's only a finite supply. Each year, as one disappears into a private collection, fewer and fewer remain on the open market. That's where urgency comes in. If you own one or suspect, it's not just a good idea to act now, it's critical. Every day the chance to turn a simple penny into nearly $1 million shrinks. Now imagine what $750,000 could mean for your life. Paying off debts, retiring early, traveling the world, upgrading your lifestyle from surviving to thriving. That's not just pocket change, it's life-changing wealth. And the best part, this isn't fantasy. People are cashing in on these coins right now. The only question is, will you be one of them? So don't underestimate the power of what you already own. The jar of coins in your attic. Those pennies you've ignored for decades. They could be the key to your wealthy future. And remember, fortune doesn't favor the hesitant. It favors the bold, the ones who take action when opportunity knocks. Right now, it's knocking. Loudly. Take this knowledge, check your coins, and step into the world where pennies aren't just cents, they're stepping stones to millions. Because at the end of the day, wealth isn't about luck. It's about recognizing the treasure in your hand before the world realizes it's gone. Imagine walking into your attic, opening an old cigar box, and finding a single penny that could change your life forever. It's not a gold coin, not a diamond. Just one simple copper coin from 1944 without a mint mark. Now here's the jaw-dropping part. This very coin, the 1944 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny, has been valued at nearly $799,000 in today's market. Yes, you heard that right, a penny worth almost $800,000. That doesn't grab your attention? What will?
House.
But let's pause for a moment. Because behind this number is a story that most people never hear. In 1944, during the final year of World War II, America was not only fighting on battlefields, but also making decisions about what materials to use in everyday coins. Steel pennies from 1943 were suddenly replaced again with copper, but mistakes slipped through the cracks. A handful of pennies were struck under conditions that defied the rules. These minting errors, invisible to most people at the time, turned ordinary pocket change into a collector's holy grail. And today, those mistakes are worth fortunes. Now here's where the urgency comes in. Every year, thousands of Americans unknowingly spend rare coins at gas stations, grocery stores, or even toss them into a jar by the kitchen sink. Imagine having a $799,000 coin in your home and never knowing it. That thought should give you chills. And the truth is, it's not impossible. People have found these rare pennies in inherited collections, tucked inside rolls of change or forgotten in drawers. The fear of letting such wealth slip through your fingers should make you think twice about every coin you handle. But excitement is what fuels collectors. The thrill of possibility, the goosebumps that rise when you realize you might be holding a piece of American history and financial freedom all at once. Let's be honest, isn't it funny? We spend so much of our lives chasing the next paycheck, the next promotion, the next investment strategy, when sometimes life-changing wealth is sitting quietly in our pocket change. Who knew your coffee money could be a lottery ticket? Now let's ground this excitement in reality. The current market is red hot for rare wheat pennies. Collectors with deep pockets are in bidding wars for coins like the 1944 no mint mark error. Just last year, an example fetched close to $799,000 at auction. And experts predict the demand will only grow as more people wake up to the hidden value in their coins. Scarcity is what drives this market, and scarcity is exactly what defines the 1944 error penny. There simply aren't many left in the world, and when demand collides with rarity, you already know what happens: prices soar. Here's a question to reset your thinking. How many times have you walked past a penny on the sidewalk and ignored it? Be honest, we all have. But what if that penny wasn't just a penny? What if it was your ticket to a debt-free life, a luxury home, or that dream vacation you've put off for years? Suddenly stooping down to pick it up doesn't seem so silly anymore, does it? Here's the deeper connection. Coins like this aren't just about money. They are about legacy. Imagine handing your children or grandchildren a coin that doesn't just sparkle in value, but tells the story of America, of war, of resilience, and of the hidden treasures life holds. That's why collectors chase them with passion. It's not only profit, it's history you can hold in your hand. As we move toward the end of this story, let's circle back to you. If you're watching this, it means you already know the truth. Wealth doesn't always come in obvious forms. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. The 1944 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny is living proof that fortune favors the curious. Those who take action, those who refuse to ignore what others overlook. So here's the urgent call. Check your coins. Search your jars. Look through that old family change collection. The next life-changing discovery could be sitting right under your nose. Remember, the market is hungry, the buyers are ready, and opportunities like this don't last forever. Because at the end of the day, the real question is simple. Will you be the person who discovers a fortune in an old penny ore? Will you be the person who spends it at the gas station, never knowing what you let slip away? Imagine stumbling across a single coin in your pocket change, an old penny that most people would dismiss as worthless copper. What if I told you that one tiny coin, a 1951D wheat penny, could be worth more than a luxury home, a fleet of sports cars, or even your entire retirement plan? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most electrifying stories in American coin collecting, the Lincoln Wheat. It's an era that is currently valued at an astonishing $690,000. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $700,000 for a penny. Stay with me because by the end of this video, we'll see why collectors across the country are scrambling to find this rare treasure, why time may be running out for those who want to cash. And now, let's rewind the story to 1951. America was booming after World War II. Families were buying homes, cars, televisions, and in the midst of all this progress, the Denver Mint was producing the humble Lincoln Wheat cent. Millions of them poured into circulation, unnoticed by most. But hidden among them, a rare minting error occurred, an error so unique, so breathtaking, that decades later it would become one of the most sought-after coins in U.S. history. Think about that for a moment. A mistake, something accidental, became a ticket to generational wealth. Isn't it funny how life works sometimes? We try so hard to be perfect, yet it's the flaws that make us priceless. Now here's where the story gets thrilling. The 1951D wheat penny in question isn't just any coin. This particular specimen displays a rare, striking error combined with exceptional condition. Imagine holding a tiny piece of history in your hand that collectors describe as nearly flawless, a piece that has survived decades of circulation untouched, almost as if destiny protected it for the right moment. The fear that countless others like it were lost to time, melted down, or simply spent on bubblegum decades ago. The excitement, knowing that one still exists, commanding nearly $690,000 in today's market. That's not pocket change, that's life-changing. Let's pause for a second. Imagine walking into a coin dealer's shop with a coffee-stained shoebox of old pennies from your grandfather. You casually pour them out, expecting maybe $20.
Halt!
Then suddenly the dealer goes silent, his eyes wide, his hands trembling. Slightly, he picks up a coin, inspects it under the magnifier, and then looks at you like you've just uncovered buried treasure. "Do you know what you have here?" he asks. You laugh nervously and say, "A penny." But that penny could fund your dream house, cover your kids' college tuition, or launch you into the wealthy lifestyle you've always imagined. Doesn't that thought send a chill down your spine? Here's the urgent reality. Coins like the 1951D wheat penny are not just collectibles, they're assets. They're in extremely high demand among elite investors and collectors who are willing to pay staggering sums for the privilege of owning something this rare. And as the market heats up, values are climbing higher, faster, and stronger than ever before. Right now, while you're watching this, opportunities are slipping through the cracks for those who don't act. Ask yourself, how many rare pennies are sitting forgotten in jars, drawers, or old collections waiting to be discovered? Could one of them be yours? And let's be honest for a moment, most people will ignore this message. They'll laugh, shrug it off, and go back to scrolling. But the ones who pay attention, who check their coins, who dare to believe that something so small could transform their future, those are the ones who end up telling the story of how a penny turned into a fortune. So ask yourself, which side of the story do you want to be on? Think about it. Owning a piece like this isn't just about money. It's about holding American history in your hands. It's about legacy. It's about the thrill of discovering something no one else noticed. And it's about realizing that wealth is often hiding in plain sight, waiting for those bold enough to claim it. You don't need Wall Street connections or insider trading tips sometimes. All you need is the courage to look closer at what's already in your possession. Now, as we come to the close of this story, remember the journey, a forgotten penny. Minted in Denver in 1951, an era that slipped through unnoticed. A survivor that defied time and a current market value brushing against $700,000. It's not just a coin, it's a lesson. Wealth doesn't always come in obvious packages. Opportunity rarely announces itself with flashing lights. Sometimes it's as small, as humble, and as ordinary looking as a 1-cent piece. But for those who recognize it, it becomes extraordinary. So here's my challenge to you. After watching this video, check your coins, your collections, your family keepsakes. Don't delay, don't dismiss, don't assume it's all worthless copper, because the moment you discover that rare gem, you'll realize this isn't just about coins. It's about creating the wealthy lifestyle you deserve. And remember, the clock is ticking, the market is climbing, and history waits for no one. Could your financial breakthrough be hiding in your pocket? Only you can find out. Imagine holding a tiny coin in the palm of your hand, a coin so ordinary it could pass through your fingers without a second thought. Yet today, one of these very coins is commanding a staggering $770,000 in the market. Yes, you heard that right, almost $1 million for a single penny. And the story of the 1941 Lincoln wheat cent with no mint mark is more than just about money, it's about history, rarity, and the hidden fortunes lying quietly in drawers, jars, and forgotten shoeboxes across America. Now, before you dismiss this as just another old coin story, pause and think. What if the coin you've been overlooking your entire life is the very key to unlocking the kind of wealth most people only dream about? That's not just exciting, it's urgent, because coins like this are being discovered, sold, and snatched up by high-end collectors every single day. The question is, will you be the one to uncover the next treasure, or will it slip away unnoticed? To understand the incredible value behind the 1941 wheat penny with no mint mark, we need to step back in time. Picture America in 1941, a nation. On the brink of war, factories roaring, men and women sacrificing everything for freedom. Amid all this chaos, the U.S. Mint was striking billions of pennies. But in this massive production, errors and rare variations slipped through. Some of these flaws created coins so unique they've become legends among collectors. The no mint mark. Lincoln cent from this year is one such piece. Its flawless design, its scarcity, and its tied to a pivotal moment in American history elevate it far beyond just a penny. It's not metal, it's legacy. But here's where the thrill comes. This isn't some museum-locked artifact. This is a coin that could be sitting right now in your old coffee jar of change. That's the beauty of it, hidden wealth, hiding in plain sight. Think about it. People toss pennies on sidewalks, sweep them into couch cushions, and ignore them. At checkout lines, a single one of these overlooked coins could be worth more than your car, your house, maybe even your entire retirement fund. It's almost comical, isn't it? How something we dismiss as pocket change could be the very thing that transforms your life. Now, let me reset your attention for a second. If you've ever thought, nah, this could never happen to me, let me ask you, did the person who discovered this coin think it would happen to them? Of course not. No one wakes up thinking they'll stumble into $770,000 by flipping through a penny roll. But it happens. It's happening. And it can happen to you if you know what to look for and if you take action instead of waiting. And that brings us to the heart of the matter, why this coin is commanding such massive attention in today's market. Collectors aren't just buying coins. They're buying stories, rarity, and the chance to own something no one else has. The demand for rare U.S. currency has skyrocketed because investors are realizing these coins aren't just collectibles, they're assets. Assets that not only preserve wealth, but multiply it. In a world where money loses value and markets swing wildly, these coins hold firm. They grow, they outperform. And the 1941 no mint mark wheat penny is a crown jewel in that movement. But here's the urgency. Coins like this don't sit around waiting. They move quickly, snapped up at auctions, passed through private hands, and locked away into long-term collections. Once they're gone, they're gone. You don't want to be the one saying, I had one of those once, but I didn't bother to check. That's a regret you can't afford. So how do you seize this opportunity? Start by looking. Dig through. Those jars, those boxes in your attic, those drawers filled with loose change. Each coin you touch is a potential key to a wealthy lifestyle. Imagine the rush of excitement, the flood of possibility, when you realize you're holding not just a coin, but a fortune. That's the moment that shifts your life's direction from wondering to knowing, from hoping to living. And don't. Just think of yourself. Think of what this could mean for your family, for your legacy. Single discovery could pay off debts, buy freedom, create opportunities for generations. That's why this isn't just about coins. It's about empowerment. It's about taking control of wealth that most people overlook every single day. So as we close this story, let me bring it full circle. A tiny penny from 1941, no mint mark, no glamour. Just copper and history has the power to command over $750,000 today. It's not just possible, it's happening right now. And the next headline, the next extraordinary discovery, could have your name written all over it.